Howdy. I'm at afternoon training, kind of at the end of it actually, finishing some things up, and I still have to do some bag work and conditioning and stuff, so I'm kind of in this interesting state, which is that a lot of mental training stuff is like, my motto is this is the thing I'm thinking about, and then they just say that that's what you're going to think about, but that's not actually how mental training works. You can't just replace negative thoughts with positive ones. You can't just like think on a concept a whole bunch and like, I don't know, will yourself to manifest it just like thinking about it a lot. It actually escapes from your mind a lot because you run into the same pressures that make it so that you want that thing, and you have grooves that you go into because you're used to those thoughts. So this is an interesting thing about today's mental training process, is that what I'm working on, like what I'm trying to do, is a concept called Ning in Thai. And it basically means like quiet, unperturbed, like unbothered by anything. You get kicked and you're like, that's no problem. You're very like unaffected. Great. Meditate on that, have the word, think about it. But then this is the only thing I have to work on today. Like I'm only working on this because I was watching Alex's fight from yesterday, and he basically won by Ning. Like that's how he won. It wasn't so much a like points scored thing as much as the points in effect were because of Ning. Like everything was influenced by his Ning. He's very, very much this, which as a Westerner he maybe gets even more credit for, because it's a very Thai Buddhist masculine good quality characteristic to have. So to see a Westerner, and we normally are very not that, we're very in Jairon is what they would say in Thai, which means like hot-headed. So I was thinking to myself as I was driving home today, like, how many fights have I lost by not being Ning? Like literally how many fights have I lost with my face by looking affected and upset, and like you can see that I'm down on myself, you can see that I'm frustrated, which just makes everything my opponent does to me seem all that much bigger. It's like putting a fucking amplifier on when you're trying to whisper in a room or something. So I've been thinking a lot about Ning, and I'm like, I'm gonna come to the gym and just work on my face and Ning. All I have to work on. Great mental training right there. Just work on one thing, simple, perfect. What happens is you forget to work on Ning, or you fall out of Ning, or you're not great at it. I'm trying to do these things in pad work, I'm trying to do these things in sparring, and I'm at times Ning and other times not, and when I'm not, I'm getting upset about not being Ning. So here's where it gets really complicated. Not only do you have the initial intention, which is to save you from your judgment, but then when you fail at what you're trying to do, you judge your failure on top of that. And you are so far outside of what you initially were trying to do mentally that your mental training is now like an Escher drawing in terms of trying to get back to Ning. This is why you cannot have mental training practice, program, whatever, that's like, just think these things, just focus on this, have a mantra for the day, because that's not how it works. And what's really, really difficult about it is that you are practicing something, whether it's what you want to be practicing or not. This is what I mean by that. So if you want to have like a session where all you're working on is Ning, right? That's what you want to be focusing on. You can practice that. But the times that you fall out of it and then get upset about it, you are practicing getting upset, whether you mean to be doing that or not. Practice is not only deliberate. Practice is something that you do a lot, and it can be something that you're not doing intentionally. So my intention was to practice Ning. What I've actually been practicing is coming out of and judging myself for coming out of Ning. This is why mental training is really hard, and that's what today's mental training video is about, is how fucking hard mental training is, because it's very, very layered and very hard. So I'm still going back, having a mantra and motto and thing that I'm thinking about today, which is control my face, stop losing fights with my face, don't get upset, be unaffected, keep it simple, and when I fall out of that, get back into it without all the judgment and secondary stuff. There's the initial thought, which is fine. That's just happening, it's a thought. And then there's your judgment about the thought, which is much more complex and wounding to you than probably the thought itself, because thoughts are pretty neutral. Thoughts can come and go, it's just a thought. But the thought you have about the thought, the judgment you have about the thought, and really the feeling you have about the thought because you're judging yourself for that thought, that's where it gets really nefarious. So my lack of Ning, kind of a problem, like pseudo problem, like an iron deficiency or something. My crying about not having Ning and judging myself for not having Ning and not staying in it and not being upset that I didn't take the iron pill instead of just taking the iron pill. That's what's going on today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's crazy mental training. It's fun.